Welcome to Latino Heat.
Fire, death and fire.
On a very special Thanksgiving or indigenous smallpox blanket.
Mm-hmm. It's smallpox blanket day to everyone.
Christopher Columbus was actually a bad guy.
Manifest Destiny dinner.
Also, don't say the E word.
Okay.
Do you know what the E word is?
Nope.
You're not supposed to say the E word anymore.
I won't say it. Yeah. You loop me into it.
I've heard you say the E word.
I've said it.
What?
You're saying that I've said it?
You've said the E word before.
Like in my life?
Yes.
Yeah, of course I have. But I have learned from my mistakes and I'm growing.
You can't stop saying the E word.
Because a lot of times we're talking about snow.
Uh-huh.
We're talking about...
and how how those E's have 40 different words for snow, but you can't say...
for them?
Yeah, I saw a TikTok recently being like, you need to remove the word Eskimo from your language.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, man.
You got it.
Okay. It's another thing. I will not say I only bring that up because I want people listening on Thanksgiving to be like, here's an argument I can start with my uncle.
Absolutely. Right away. Yeah, this is where this podcast is going to be a list of things that you can say to get in an argument with one of your relatives.
Because that's what the best part of Thanksgiving about, and life really, is getting two people to fight each other so you can take a break.
So you can sit back.
So you can sit back and watch and be like, look, check out what I did. With merely a mention of some syllables and words, I angered two different people and got them fighting.
And now I have more portions for me to eat.
Yeah, more portions.
Because they're busy arguing, not eating. So if you're not eating, you're not going for seconds or thirds.
That's take the apathy pill and start trolling people.
Enjoy the ride is what we say here at Latino Heat Industries.
Latino Heat, right there on the poster. Thank you for...
I hate this. What's going on with this nipple thing in our wall?
Oh, you're pointing out the flaws on my new set?
Yeah.
Immediately? Yeah, I was going to say thank you for joining me on the... But fuck you for being the first guest on the newly...
Oh, it's an honor!
What is that thing? It's like, do you think it's gas?
I have no idea. Water? Why would it be poking out into the wall this way? Like, I don't know how houses are built. You understand plumbing and heating and drywall better than I do.
So it's either one of three things. Okay. It's either electrical, an electrical pipe that someone just put a cap over, a water pipe, which I don't think it is, which would be crazy, that someone put a cap over, or... gas pipe, which would be insane if there was like a stove or something up here, but they just put a cap over it instead of like plugging it up in the wall.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like a T-piece, and so then they'd have to cut a whole section of pipe out. And it's like,
you have no idea.
Hey, I get it. You're lazy. This is a rental unit.
Yeah, you don't live here.
That's what when people are like, the landlord special, I'm like, yeah, they're renting it to you. You're going to ruin it.
They don't love you.
When you move out and they move their family, and then they'll put a nice coat of paint over it. But right now, it's just making them money. Why would they? It's already making money. Why would they?
Yeah.
Why would they make it nice?
One of the most comically infuriating things of my life was when we were moving out of our Ridgewood apartment with our landlord who lived underneath us. We were her only tenants.
The old lady.
And she was a big pain in the ass. Every day she would bother me. And because I was the only one who spoke Spanish, I had to be the one to intermediate or to mediate and talk to her. Well, fucking full nightmare of a woman. Like clearly it's like, oh, you're sad and lonely and old and you want someone to talk to, but you only know how to communicate via confrontation and being annoyed and complaining.
Did you ever try paying for rent in a special way?
No, I did. And when we were moving out,
it's like two birds, one stone.
Yeah, truly.
She's so nice to us now, and I also have an extra $1,000 in my pocket.
Watch Kingpin too many times. But
hey, she's sexy without the makeup on.
Yeah, it's true.
Without the ugly old lady.
Yeah. But she
shout out to
she kicked us out of the apartment. And she's like,
which is why we're here.
Why we're here. She's like, you guys have to move out at the end of the month. And we're like, fuck you. But as we're moving out, I'm throwing stuff away. Like we're literally going to move out in like one day. Like it's the next day. She's like seeing me haul trash down the stairs. And she goes, Diego, could you do me a favor? Can you throw away your oven? And I go, pardon me? She goes, I'm getting a new oven. Would you mind throwing that one away? I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it. In the fucking way am I throwing away an oven as a favor for you because you're finally getting a new one. We had this old piece of shit the entire time.
You should have you should have wandered the streets looking for another oven and then brought it upstairs.
I left my 100-pound. I was walking home one day.
I know. I'm pissed about this.
Okay.
Because I respect you for doing it, but I really wish you would have brought it with you. But now we have this
fucking side. You're gonna spill my seltzer. I think
I'm not. It's
Mac found this side table.
That's how sturdy the base is.
It's so heavy. Yeah.
It's probably 70 pounds.
I think it's more like 50.
Come on, we're on camera.
50,000. But anyway, I was walking home to that same Ridgewood apartment, and this is Donald Trump just won, and I was walking home, and this guy was like watering his cement. And there's just a big comical dumbbell.
Like an old style.
Like an
the
old
round, the spheres.
Yeah, globe dumbbells with the circles in it, like an old-timey strongman wearing the Tarzan leotard. Huh, huh, huh. And I'm like, what's up with that dumbbell? And he goes, I'm throwing it away. I'm like, so I can take it? He goes, if you can pick it up. I'm like, I can pick it up.
And how far away from your apartment was this?
6 blocks.
I had to take this from... This what is this called? This is a
side table.
Side table, because I had to take the side table.
Yeah, end table. I think
I had to walk it like 3 Manhattan blocks.
Yeah, and then the train.
Well, the train is easy because I sat on it on the train.
Sure, I get that, but it's more time.
But the 3 blocks,
time under tension,
where I'm holding it, I'm like, block and a half. I'm like, it's a
real test.
This is a journey.
Yeah, dude, carrying 100 pounds like a suitcase. I did it for like a couple blocks or a block. I put it down, so a chance, and then I started loading it on my shoulder.
Yeah.
It was just driving through my whole body.
Yeah.
And
but you got to take breaks, right?
Yeah, because I'm walking. So I just put it down.
I was on the clock.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, I'm good. Keep walking. Like,
No, but I had a 100-pound dumbbell and I would do goblet squats with it. And that's it.
You should have kept it.
I have dumbbells. I was like, I had kettlebells. I don't need it. Because you're saying that now it's funny, but like, I'm telling you, I owned it. I never used it. It's too heavy.
I feel like having one of those is like if someone was doing it up here and then they accidentally dropped it, it would go through at least one or two floors.
Yeah, it'd go right through like a fucking cartoon.
Like, whoops.
It's going through the top floor, the second floor, the neighbor downstairs ceiling. It'd go through the ground and end up in China. You'd see a bunch of dinosaur bones and oil.
Just like the movie Alien. In Aliens.
What do you mean just like it?
When the alien blood goes through the ceiling they're going floor by floor trying to track it.
The alien blood, which is acid, which I can't remember who it was, pointed out. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. They can't live like that. Like,
why wouldn't it not make sense?
I don't know. They pointed it out. I can't remember what it was.
I hate when people point out like movies.
But it did lead to something though. So I understand. I do hate when people point things out that annoys me.
Because they're like, signs would never happen. Why would aliens come to because spoiler if you haven't seen Signs.
Spoiler if you haven't seen Alien.
the aliens come to Earth in Signs and then water hurts them.
Yeah.
But it's like, what are you talking about? We go into space and radiation hurts us. We wander into volcanoes. We go underwater. Humans go to places all the time.
All the time.
A married woman's apartment and our husband might be and we do dangerous things
all the time.
All the time.
It's in our nature.
Just because. So why wouldn't an alien come to Earth to get a little bit of human pussy?
That's what they're here for, by the way.
I hate when normal
they have
people.
What's that stuff that covers in like old movies where they cover a woman's mouth and she passes out?
Oh, chloroform.
That's what they have in their little. That's what they're spraying. It's chloroform. Macaulay Culkin's little brother, he passed out because they're spraying chloroform on him.
Wait,
and they're going to take advantage of him sexually. Yeah.
That's not Kieran.
That's Kieran. It's
Is Kieran the older brother?
No, I think Macaulay's the eldest.
There's 3 Culkins?
Yeah, there's 3. That's why.
I did not know this.
Yeah, everyone thinks there's 2. There's 3. And honestly, I think there's 5. But the other 2 don't. I had my look at my phone.
The other 2 were not Michael Jackson defenders, so no one cares about them.
I see the guy from Succession, that Kieran Culkin. I see him in Greenpoint.
The guy from Movie 43, as I call him.
Sorry, the guy from Movie 43. I see him in Greenpoint on the same exact spot. He's walking around Ganarsi, I think it's pronounced. It's 1 block away from Dobbin. I can say it.
You're going to get him doxxed.
Yeah, it's a block. I've seen him every time I go to work on Tuesday. The exact same time he's walking by as I walk by.
Stop time and space doxing this guy.
Time and space doxing him. If you want to kill Kieran Culkin for some reason, just hold a knife around the blind corner. He's going to walk right into it.
Oh, how do you know I was going to be exactly right here?
Your Honor, I was just holding my favorite knife.
And he walked into it.
He ran in it.
Continue.
What?
Your story.
What story? What am I saying?
Do you feel guilty about it now that you're like, oh, he's probably a crazy person might do that?
No. People that listen to this podcast are not going to harm anyone. They're all beautiful people that love to help.
I think now.
Now you've leached the bad ones away.
Mm-hmm.
You've not lost anyone. You have gained empty space for potential new listeners.
I've gained more hardened. Is that a word? Hardened?
I don't think so. Hardened?
Not hard, because I wanted to go. Hardened seems like a word.
I mean, a lot of things seem like a word. Watch this. Coolum.
I've heard that before.
Turfin.
you're
Jack.
You're really good at that.
Thank you.
Hardened. Hardened has to be a word.
I don't think. Are you saying like heart, like in your heart, or like to make something harder?
I think it's one of those fake tech words.
Oh,
like a bunch of company. Oh, hardened Wiktionary.
I feel like if you use it enough, it qualifies. I have hiccups. What the hell? No, I don't.
Third person, plural, present, indicative, subjective of harder. See? It's the third person, plural, present, indicative, subject.
Oh, I can't believe I forgot that was a third person, plural, indicative. Hey, you know what? Egg on my face. Hardened egg on my face.
I always forget. Is Spanish your first or second language?
Technically, Spanish is my first language.
Yeah,
I learned Spanish first, technically.
But you remembered Spanish. I forgot Spanish.
Yeah, I speak Spanish.
I learned Spanish and then forgot it. Subconsciously, tragedy. I know it.
Do you think it'd be easier for you to relearn it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, right? Okay.
I went down to South America for like a month as a child, and I picked it up faster.
Okay.
So it's deep down. I just don't use it.
We should watch Narcos. And let us see if it
for Thanksgiving.
Comes back. Yeah, for Thanksgiving. To celebrate.
Does your family do a lot of Thanksgiving?
What do you mean a lot of Thanksgiving?
Like, I don't know. I don't know how Latinos do Thanksgiving.
No, I understand, but what do you mean by a lot of Thanksgiving?
Like a little bit, or they get like hot dogs and water, or do they
a lot of Thanksgiving.
Does your mom like bake a whole turkey?
It's one day. So what we normally do, at least when I was a kid, we have a lot of family in South Florida.
Yeah, I don't know. Even do Floridians? Do they celebrate Thanksgiving?
Yeah, absolutely. Not with the woke
mind
governor.
virus.
I don't know.
Plymouth Rock is actually in Florida.
That's true. I've always said that's next to Key West, where all the gay guys are. So my mom's sister, who was basically my aunt.
Wait, what do you mean?
Mom's sister.
Well, we had like a fling, so it seems weird when I call her that. So
yeah, so my mom's sister.
I like to separate it.
She had a big house. She still does. They've been living in the same house since 1988. Big house in South Florida, and
Plantation?
Everyone would go there, huh?
Plantation?
I lived in Plantation. They live in Miramar.
Oh.
Yeah. So everyone would convene at the house, right?
Yeah.
You get there around 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and everyone's cooking. All the women are cooking. And it's like my mom and my aunt, cousins, and turkey. They'd make a turkey. But then it'd be like,
how would they make the turkey?
They throw it in the oven. I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
But do you remember like how it tasted?
No, it tastes like turkey to me.
Was it good?
It was okay.
It was okay. Because I remember doing all my dad's side of the family very white. My dead grandma, bless her soul,
rest in peace,
made the worst turkey I ever had.
Oh.
Every single year, we'd always go to her house, and I remember being like, from the age of like 10 to somewhere around there, and be like, this turkey isn't good. I don't know what good turkey tastes like.
But you saw potential in it.
But I'm like,
even as a child, you were disappointed in other people. That you thought, there's got to be better versions of this.
I'm like, I don't know what dry turkey tastes like. I don't have any. This is because people are like, how would you describe salt to someone who never had it?
Oh, okay.
Or like those things is like, how do you know? Here's a better analogy.
I can't wait.
It's the guy who gets married right out of high school. He's only had sex with his girlfriend, high school girlfriend.
Got it.
So he doesn't know any better. And for me, as like a child, having this dry ass turkey, I've never had turkey before. I've had other like maybe chicken or something. Sure. So I'm like, I know what maybe gay sex feels like, but I don't know. But it's like, I know in my little child heart of hearts, I'm like, this is not good.
This is not good.
And so sometimes when you see a guy marrying his high school sweetheart, I'm like, you need to. I know you know, if she's the best you've ever had, but she's not the best. Yeah. But yeah, that's my distinct like childhood Thanksgiving. I was like, this turkey's awful.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, hey, shut up.
Hey, shut up! You didn't do anything. You don't get to say shit like that until you actually contribute. But so they would make turkey, but we wouldn't do really any of, in my memory at least, none of the traditional sides of a Thanksgiving.
You wouldn't all sit around the table and be like, I'm thankful for...
No, everyone's dancing. It's really loud.
Just a party.
It's just a party that has turkey and then other Spanish food.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Like, you didn't do the yams or a pecan pie. It was just like a bunch of corn mush and spicy foods. And,
empanadas and like...
That's almost better.
Sancocho, yeah. So it'd be a lot of that. I think there'd be a store-bought pumpkin pie if you want.
Because I feel like Thanksgiving is half of some of the best food ever, and half of it are like joke foods that have snuck in.
Oh, what would you? Let's go down the list. What would you qualify as what? Let's go down the top side. So number one, obviously turkey.
Number one is turkey.
Yeah, we're going big down.
When it's done well, it's up near the top of the list.
Really? Okay.
But it's not my favorite. Because for me, I am and this is going to be controversial.
When is this going to come out?
Tonight.
I know. I'm joking.
Why?
Because it's funny because this is the first podcast. You do whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I don't. There's no. It's restarting. I'm thankful for new beginnings.
You're like, this comes out in 2 weeks. You're like, why?
This comes out in exactly 1 year.
Yeah.
I think if I give myself enough time, I can.
The podcast is called Time Capsule.
Oh,
you tell yourself things you want to happen from 1 year from now.
Oh, it was so nice before New York City got nuked. They looked like they were having a real fun time.
It was so nice before Israel nuked New York City. A snake eating its own head.
Back in 2024, the podcast. So my family is, because I think my grandma's turkey was so bad, my dad would always cook ham. And so growing up, I was like, my favorite Thanksgiving food is ham. And people were like, what the fuck are you eating? That's a Christmas thing. And I'm like, I don't know. We have ham for Christmas too. And I'm like,
we have both
so I'm a ham guy. And but then I know that might not count. So stuffing and what is it, yams? Or is it sweet potato?
It's the same thing. I believe it's the same thing.
I think it is too, but I don't know.
It's vernacular.
I love yams and I love stuffing.
Do you like them with marshmallows on top? Because that's a recent thing for me. I didn't have that. I never had that until like 2 or 4 years ago.
That's the dessert version. And yes. But too much. It's too.
Well, two
it's like
implies excessive, but there's a line for everyone.
No,
it's not like it drives me crazy about the people saying too much. It's not like there is a set number of amount of spice or salt in a thing, and like not like because I worked as a restaurant for years.
Oh.
And people will be like, "Is it too spicy?" And I go, "That's your subjective opinion. I don't know what too much is for you."
What was that
The
thing?
chef isn't back there like, and this is a perfect amount, and now a bunch more.
But there is a general...
no, not in a restaurant. Not in a restaurant. Everyone's going to be like, we make this too salty.
You know what? You're right, because I remember when I worked at the meat department.
Yeah, I got the meat department right here.
And I worked there. I was putting in hours. I worked at the meat department and at a grocery store, and one day they're like, "Hey, make the cocktail sauce." And I'm like, "How do I make it?" And they're like, "Just put horseradish, lemon, and the cocktail sauce." Or
what's the red stuff?
What is the red stuff?
Tomato.
It's some tomato paste. I think it's just tomato paste.
Tomato paste, horseradish. Interesting.
And pepper.
I loved cocktail sauce as a kid.
Yeah, so I made it.
It's rocks.
And
it's tangy and salty.
And they're just like, get a feel for it. You've had it? And I'm like, no. And they're like, you can't mess it up. It's easy.
They're really trying to walk away. And you're like, I don't know. And they're like, yeah, don't worry.
Which is a lot of what my job is now, is being like...
People walking away. You're like, you figure it out.
Do you think that's like a me person thing? Like,
let's say it's a little bit of both, where it's A, the person is like fucking in a rush and doesn't care, but B, they trust you enough that you're not a moron.
Which is fair, but I like to ask a lot of questions.
You do. Because you want to do a good job.
And I don't want you to be mad at me later.
Exactly.
But you're going to be mad at me later because you walked away when I was asking questions.
It's your fault I didn't get to do a good job.
So anyways, I made this cocktail sauce, and I don't know. I made it so strong.
Oh.
To me, it was normal.
Ah.
But because what would you eat? We had something the other day where you're like, oh, this is really spicy. And I'm like, there was spice in that?
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I've blown out. I'm not saying Diego has...
And I do. I have a very low tolerance. I have a very sensitive palate. That's why only the most beautiful woman's pussies.
Oh, too spicy.
I'm drinking a glass of milk while eating a girl's pussy.
Have you been fucking a lot of black guys? This is way too spicy.
I can't touch my eyes.
The pH is just burning you. Oh, it's hurting your skin. So I made this cocktail, and I've also, like, as a kid, I would just pour hot sauce on everything. So I like from
out,
there's nothing here.
You're like a woman who's just fucking only done Hitachi magic wands on her clit.
There's like it's like someone will bring out spicy pho, and I'm like more. Except the other night, I was drunk.
Yeah, you were.
And I was eating pizza at a pizzeria place.
Oh,
and so,
yes.
They have hot sauce out at pizzerias, just whatever. And so I'm like, oh, hot sauce. I'm like drunk. So I'm not reading any. I'm like, oh, hot sauce on pizza. But I douse it because I'm like, it's never hot enough. And so I start biting it, and I'm like halfway through the pizza, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm like sweating and crying, and my mouth is on fire. And I look at the bottle, and it's habanero.
That's crazy to just have that out.
Just have it out. And I think there was only like 1 or 2 bottles, but I'm like, I just grabbed it.
That's the one you happened to grab.
It's 11 at night.
It wasn't especially marked.
Melting my mouth. And if I was not drunk, I would have been in a lot of pain.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm drunk. This hurts, and this is awesome.
I'm having a good time.
I love how spicy this is. The pain is nice to me.
The pain's good.
In a kinky, sexual thrill kind of way.
Yeah.
So anyways, I made this cocktail sauce, and the entire next couple days, I had nothing but white ladies coming up and being like, I just wanted to let you guys know the cocktail sauce was real. It was too strong.
Oh.
And then a bunch of other people were like, hey, whatever you did for and it was really funny because people taking time out of their shopping experience to be like, I know what you normally do, but that was on point. That was the best. So it's like, no matter where you'd make it.
I find it,
But I think the Harmon's grocery store where I worked for.
Harmon's.
We
are Harmon's grocer. We'll be in your house.
They will. They're Mormon. Knock, knock, knock. We got your groceries.
We are Harmon's grocer. It better be soda.
So.
But as a person.
Yes.
Were you done? I'm sorry.
No, that was a bunch of diatribes. You notice how we're really good at
we're so good
branching off and then.
So I always find it fascinating how the women going up and be like, hey, I want you to know it's too spicy.
White women
and other people be like, hey, I love this. I don't know what it is about me, but let's say I try something and it's too spicy. My reaction isn't to tell them that it's too spicy.
Oh, that is an interesting.
Because it's like, it's not for me. It's not perfect for me. Who gives a it's not how the world works, but it's so insane to me.
Think about it. That is how the world works for a white woman.
Amen. We'll see you guys next week.
I think of how many times a white woman is just like, excuse me, I don't want to make a scene, and then they make a scene, and then things change for them. The world morphs around them for the next, their husband is like, all right, I gotta go. And she's gonna, if I don't go to the waiter and be like, here's $20,
right.
Don't put out a glass of chocolate milk anywhere. She'll have a fucking conniption.
So much.
Or is like, please put a glass of chocolate.
We're both wearing that shirt. This is my girlfriend. What did it say? My girlfriend beats me.
My girlfriend beats me is a funny shirt.
But
that they complain because it actually, as a man, if I complain, people are like, "Shut up, bitch!" And
shut up, pussy.
Yeah, you're right. I should shut up.
I don't know.
I don't know where I got off.
Your job as a man is to take it, to endure. And I believe, I'm joking, obviously, when I say that.
I'm joking, but I'm not.
Here's where I'm not joking, and I can't remember who. I wish I remember who said this. They said that to them, being a man means that their needs come last.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's it. That's what I like.
And I get off on that, on my soul. That's a thing in my soul where I'm like, I need to be a provider.
I can protect and I can endure. Because when I see men that are so sensitive to anything changing, it's just like, hey man the fuck up, dude.
Yeah, it's like
you gotta just take that.
What are you talking about? Life is bad.
Life is bad. I'm
That's what's
so
awesome
sorry.
about it. Oh, this sucks. You as a man are put here on, and not everyone's a man, but as a man, you're here to protect women, children,
and
trans women, trans men, trans children.
All of them.
All their opinions come before yours.
And you should be happy about that.
And you're just like, no, I don't care. But then people like to tune into your podcast to hear your manly opinions. Like, what's going on in the manosphere?
Oh, well, I have some thoughts.
What 14-year-old boys want to really look up to us.
Oh, a podcast for 14-year-old boys were not dickheads. And be like, drink Prime. We're not doing that. Hey, kids, if you're watching this, hi, how are you? Drink whatever you want. I would say just make sure you get a little bit of water in you.
I'm saying if you're under the age of 16, try and sneak a few beers this Thanksgiving. Just try.
And you know what's so funny? I vividly remember the first couple times I tried to be a beer.
As like a kid?
As like a teenager. Like 16 or 15. Like I tried to. Yeah. I remember taking a sip and burping for like an hour, like a comical amount of time, like taking a sip, like it was like really fascinating. I'm like, how does anyone drink this?
I think that's accurate because your gut biome is like doesn't know how to process the yeast and all the hops and barley or whatever. It's a brand new thing.
Because I've seen a lot of these videos where it's someone showing you how to pour a beer correctly. And it's like the mistake everyone makes is like tipping the glass and pouring super gently because they don't want head. But the problem with that is all the carbonation, it stays too much in the beer.
Ooh.
So when you pour, you just pour straight on. Boom. You want the head. Let it go down and then pour again and finish it.
Don't even get me started on beer autism.
Because then they'll shake a napkin in the beers. And so the one that's in pour gently, it just fucking goes crazy. Like, that's what's happening in your stomach.
Well, you know that they laser the bottom of certain glasses. They design glasses for specific beers.
I know that.
And beer types.
I worked at a beer restaurant.
And so it's like
a fancy gastropub, and I learned a lot about beer.
Yeah, it's really insane.
Mostly the guys that like beer a lot are fucking losers. People would come.
They're like fat Redditor bald guys with long beards. Yeah. And it's like, hey, that's the stereotype.
So I worked at a restaurant called the Pickle Shack. And it sounds like a piece of shit, but it was like a very nice.
Yeah, it sounds like they have all the exposed ceilings and then like the wood picnic table.
A little bit.
Like that kind of
a little bit. So there's a company called Brooklyn Brine, and they make really good pickles, like really good. And they make a bunch of different pickled things. They opened their own restaurant around the corner from the factory, and it's called the Pickle Shack, and that's where I worked. The chef of that restaurant is now one of the chefs at the Jean-Georges restaurant, ABCV.
Ooh,
Jean-Georges, a very famous restaurant. So I'm just telling you the quality of this restaurant was pretty high for a fucking place called the Pickle Shack. But it's a vegetarian.
Only in New York City, baby.
Yeah, it's a vegetarian gastropub. Our biggest.
You gotta try Wendy's.
Our biggest.
There's a chef at this Wendy's in by Canal Street.
Our relationship with the biggest beer was Dogfish Head, which is like a very like indie cool. They make weird beer kind of thing. Yeah. I'm sure they've gone super corporate now, but at the time, they were like really respected in like making cool, interesting beer. They have there's
like a beer renaissance, I think, at the time when you're working in the restaurants.
They're famous for what's called the 60-minute IPA. Okay, they make 120-minute IPA, which is way different. And a 60-minute, 90-minute, 120-minute. The 120, we would get one keg every like 8 months, like 6 months. Like it was rare. They didn't make a lot of them.
And when these beer retards come in,
dude, from all over the place. And I could tell when they're like really excited because they'd sit at the bar and get that by itself and take pictures of it.
Oh.
And like they'd be in pairs of losers. And like, do you want anything to eat?
Was this during like when hipsters were a thing?
I mean, yeah, but it was like hipsterdom in terms of New York.
It peaked in like late 2000s, early 2010s.
It peaked in like, if I'm being honest, it probably peaked before I moved to New York in like 2007.
Gotcha.
In 2008, 2009, when I moved here, it was already becoming a joke.
Yeah.
And like 2011, it started really dying in terms of like talking about it. But these guys would come and then be like so excited to try this fucking beer. And her being like, you drove here for this? They're like, yeah. I'm like, where do you guys live? And he goes, he lives in Connecticut. I live in Delaware. I'm like, you live in Delaware? Go to the factory. That's right there. But it'd be basically allowed people driving to try.
They're following the truck.
Yeah, it's so
there
funny.
It is. Oh, what restaurant is it going to?
Oh, get a parking spot.
How much was one beer?
The 120, I believe, would be like $17 for a glass.
All right. I paid more for a beer at the Prudential Center.
Yeah, exactly. Which you will tonight. And yeah, it was just like we would get like these weird bottles, weird the main brewing company, which is like apparently has like a very big following, and people would come and call and be like, "Do you guys have the fucking zoot suit hat wearing dolphin?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we do." And like, "Can you hold a bottle?" I'm like, "No, I can't."
Can I hold a bottle?
I can hold it for like 5 minutes. It gets cold in my hand.
So I mean, hey, every single thing has a snob. Which
true.
Not every single thing, but a lot of them.
A lot of things have their snob. And I'd go with you that almost everything has a snob.
But it's funny that I'm noticing like coffee, beer, audio. There's these things where there is like you're doing it, but then I think it hits a point where people blow past the best, and then it like hits absurd levels of like fake snobbery.
Okay.
So when it comes to audiophile stuff, I've given the example at my job. We have like a $250,000 stereo that they like to show off to other audiophiles. And so
what's it called?
It's an MBL.
I hadn't even heard of that. That's amazing.
There's so many brands I've never heard of that are like French and German and like Austrian, and they only make these speakers in whatever country. And it costs.
We learned to make these speakers in 1946. Like, why?
And so I think like obviously you spend $100 on a boombox. It sounds like it's bad, like you can tell, but it's playing music. Technically, it's playing music, and you can understand the song. You spend, I don't know, $500 on a system. You're like, this is pretty good. This stereo system, like, or $500 on a headphones was like, oh, these are really good headphones. But then I think there's like $3,000 headphones that are like, this is not, and I'm like, I don't think you need to spend $3,000. I think you you get diminishing returns exponentially as you hit that, like these levels of when it comes to coffee or beer or whatever, or especially wine.
Yeah.
Wine is one of those.
Yeah.
People like to refine these things into where it just starts like, all right, man, I guess. And I think it's like, it gets to a point where it becomes a thing where it is an industry in that it's a pocket industry where you need someone to tell you, actually, this wine, it works this way. And like rich people are like, yes, I have a lot of money and I can afford the thing. It becomes a status symbol to own the Sennheiser headphones, $500 headphones, 99.8% perfect headphones, but I got the 99.9%.
And like, how much more is it? That's 10 times more.
$10,000. You're like, all right, man. Anyways, that beer, sometimes it feels like that, where I'm like, I love Twisted Tea. That's my new obsession. I've been chugging Twisted Teas.
It is interesting, especially with the audio stuff, where your disappointment is only in relation to what you've been exposed to. So, like, I think if you play someone a boombox, it's $100, and it's the best they've ever heard, they're gonna go, "This is great." If they never hear anything above that, they're gonna be happy with that.
But that's the argument. If I marry my high school sweetheart, and that's the only woman I've known, they are happy. But I feel like deep inside, you kind of sometimes, maybe everyone's different too.
Everyone's different too. But I think it's funny that the more you expose yourself to things,
the worse everything
else feels in comparison.
And that's why those people at the bar are miserable deep down inside, because they know they're like, yeah, this beer is pretty good, but what if it was better?
Sure.
What if I could pay $400 for one pint of beer?
Because I'm trying to think, because when I worked there, I wasn't drinking, obviously, and people would ask me what my favorite was. I go, I'll be honest with you, I'm sober. But people that drink this seem to be really enjoy it. I think this has a funny name, and I really hope you order it because I like getting out of the basement. I was a very honest server. I found it very fun to just be like really honest. Like sometimes people would be like, "What's your favorite thing on the menu?" And I'll tell them. But then someone they're sitting with, they're like, "He works here. He has to say that." I go, "I'll tell you what I hate." And they're like, "What do you hate?" I'm like, "I hate this and this. I think this is overpriced." And they'd be like, "Oh, okay."
But I think
and they would suck my dick in the break room.
That's very nice. Not once?
No, I made out with a girl, one of the other servers in the office, and I made out with one of the girls in the walk-in. But I never had sex at work, at the restaurant.
That's insane to me that didn't happen. That seems like a given within 6 months.
I had sex with a lot of them afterwards.
That's not the same.
It's not the same, but it is pretty cool that I had sex with all of them. Right, like I was talking to one is still like a close friend of mine, and she goes, "Did you sleep with so-and-so?" I'm like, "I did." And they go, "What about the other?" I'm like, "I did." Because when I was working there, I was in a relationship, so none of them could have me. And then, like at the end, I was out of a relationship, and then things happened. But for the 4 out of the 5 years, they couldn't have me. They could not have this.
You're not allowed to have this. No.
But like so for me, in terms of, I'm thinking of my own personal.
I wish I could pay a woman to be my girlfriend.
You can.
But no, here's what I'm getting at. Like,
okay,
so when I cheat on her, quote unquote, air quotes, she freaks out. I want to pay for the experience of her being mad, because guys are always like, I want to hire a prostitute to take a bunch of photos, so then women get like think I'm more like unattainable, and then like my status higher. No, I want to pay her that when I have sex with other women, she's like, "You did what?"
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fun.
Because that's the part I feel like that they truly feel.
Yeah.
Is then I go moping around. I'm like, yeah, I got caught.
I got caught cheating.
And so then women are like, oh, he got caught.
And he feels empathy.
That's the secret. And I'm like, I didn't really. I'm paying to be a bad guy. That I'm actually a good guy paying for the bad guy experience. Sorry, I interrupted you. Was it weird?
No, it was worth it. I'm glad you interrupted with that.
Oh, what were you going to interrupt?
I was interrupting. I was talking. I'm the fucking guest. But I'm trying to think of my own.
You're the guest. You're the co-host. Welcome to hell, buddy.
Oh, shit.
You just signed yourself up for another podcast.
Oh, good. Another podcast. 1.5 feet from where I record the other. But I was thinking about the things I care about and the nerdiness and the depths I go to. And like, I remember when I was in LA, I like cold brew coffee. We went to a place called Dayglow, which is a very Dayglow coffee. All of it comes with olive oil, and the marinara's all over the cups. It's a pain in the ass. You have to kiss a mom on the lips to get your coffee. And they make very good coffee, but they have a special coffee on the menu. That's I think a $13 cold brew, or $13 or $18.
That's insane.
Yeah,
one cup
of coffee, and I'm like, I'm in LA. This is funny. I want to try. I know it's stupid, but I don't have kids. The fuck do I care about $13? And so I got it. I got this special coffee, and it was really funny because I'm like, I'll take the special coffee, and they're like, oh, come over here, and they made me they let me stand in a different spot, and they asked me my name and like what I do. Like I'm like, that's so funny to like add a little more service to our coffee.
You just watch it pour it out of the same pot as the dollar coffee.
Yeah, like, here you go. It just has good coffee in quotes.
Coffee where we pretend we don't hate you. Oh, a guest at a restaurant.
Truly, it was so cute and funny to me. So I get the coffee. I go outside.
Because let me guess. My whole experience with stuff like that is a $13 coffee, and I'm always like, it's pretty good, but it's not $13. This is a $7 coffee, where I usually pay $1 to $2 because I don't like paying for coffee. I'm like, I can make a batch I'm a quantity guy. So it's always like the more expensive super thing is only like worth 25% of what the MSRP is, what the dealer pays for it.
And you're counting that in terms of like them making a profit. You're not just saying like what it should cost in terms of like, you're calculating what they need to make as a profit. Like you're not just saying like this should be, it costs you guys 30 cents to make it. It should cost me 31 cents to sell then.
No, that's what I am saying.
Okay, yeah, it's stupid. It's a fucking stupid way to live your life. But
I'm just saying I understand why they do that.
Yeah.
But to me, I see through all the illusions, and I'm just like.
Do you think it's seeing through the illusions, or do you think it's just being a shithead?
I think it's both.
Okay. As long as we're being honest about that. So anyway.
This is a curse and a blessing.
It's me. It's Mike is there.
Yeah.
Chris is there. Chris's girlfriend, Jennifer. Brian is there. Like I have 9 of my friends are there.
I would have been like, oh my God, this is the best coffee. And then people are like, let me try it. I'm like, no. This is the greatest coffee yet. This is an experience.
It's really good.
Yeah. It's
insane tasting. It really tastes wildly different than anything I've ever had, and I drink a lot of cold brew. It was like blueberry, and like there's sincerely a lot of like layers to it. Would I ever buy it again? Probably not.
How much would you say it was worth?
I'm talking about it 3 years later.
Whoa! So you would pay $15 for it?
I'd pay $15 for it. Yeah.
Wow.
It was really good and interesting.
Would you pay $20 for it?
No.
So that's where I like to think about things. I'm like,
when I go.
What is the price of a thing?
Yeah.
And I'm also like, again, I guess I do agree with like, what is the price with, what are you doing? Oh, it is hot in here. Why'd you close that door? No, because this one's also in the, that opens right into the camera.
We're fine.
Why is it so fucking hot in the beginning of December?
But, so I let people try it because I'm like, it's $13. And then they go, I'm a better person than you are. Why are you mad? Just accept the fact that I'm a better friend than you are.
I've never denied the fact.
So let everyone try and they go, okay, that is weird. That's insane.
It is weird. But
it's weird.
Do you think they appreciate it on the level you appreciate?
Of course not. No one appreciates things on the level I do.
I think I appreciate things on a different secret level.
On a secret third level. That's really annoying.
It's somewhere beyond space and time.
But LA has my favorite coffee shop. It's called Kumquat. It's a bunch of Christian Koreans, apparently.
Okay.
And it's like it has like a
Jesus is Korean.
Jesus is Korean, obviously. Anyone who argues against that is stupid. And doesn't know anything about history. Herstory, Christian herstory.
Jesus is actually a woman,
Jesus
a Korean woman, and we all know this. I don't even know why I have to repeat this fact.
I can't believe you guys are trying to ignore
on the
history.
cross, when it says in the Bible, when the guy's getting crucified next to Korean lady Jesus, and he's like, "Oh, her tits were so tasty."
Why do you think she was able to stay on that crucifix by just being pounded out by her wrists and her ankles? A man's weight is too high. It'd pull him right off. A thin Korean woman. She's up there for days, dog. So,
are we done?
I mean, finished that.
With the snobbery stories?
I think so.
It's time for the VR report.
Oh, hey, it's the VR report, you fucking assholes. Matt got PlayStation VR.
PS5 VR 2, which I'm actually really disappointed because we have a bunch of PS4 VR games, and the PlayStation is like, sorry, you can't play them. And I'm like, what?
What do you mean I can't play them?
Your VR is too advanced to play the old set. I'm like, God damn it.
That's ridiculous.
It really is.
If it's above, it's an umbrella. Everything underneath it.
Nope, that's
not above it. I understand.
That's modern gaming. But
it only fits in this little bit of options.
That's how they get you. We bought a VR headset, and we can tell we've been talking about coffee and speakers and stuff. VR is better than real life.
Yeah, VR is the future. I want to be there all the time.
Never want to leave.
I don't want to feel anything else. I want to cut blue and red squares with my samurai swords.
Your lightsaber.
My lightsabers.
I was actually, my honest opinion of VR, because it's not, I was trying to think, it's like the most interesting, it's a gimmick.
Okay.
It is a gimmick, and I've never had a gimmick affect my brain in such a way.
Oh, that's an interesting way of thinking about it.
Because like normally you go to a 3D movie and you're like, yeah, that 3D movie sucked and it was fun. But the gimmicks are usually like, oh yeah, well, I know it's a gimmick. I know it's schlock. I know it's like a shtick. I'm here for like just to have fun.
Yeah.
And so, but then there's things that like affect you. Where you're like, this is, the first time you rip on a jewel and you're like, oh, this is my brain.
Yeah, you felt like in The Fifth Element when the big stones turn and you feel that breaking of dust.
Yeah, and like
that's happening in your brain.
Like, are there any moments when you're like, my brain is rewired forever?
When I jacked off for the first time.
Exactly, and you're like, oh, everything is different.
I'm a different person.
And VR is one of those things. I think a big one for me, you never played it. I should have you play it, is playing the game Portal.
Okay. Oh, I know what that is. Yeah.
Where I think there's a lot of people who do puzzles and like stuff like that are really addicted to that, like that little click where they're like, oh, everything I understand at a new higher level, and they get addicted to that.
Because it's like a game where you're running around, and if you jump into certain portals, they shoot you out different sides. But you can elicit certain portals.
Like, do you ever watch someone play like a 2D game and then watch them try and play a shooter, and they just don't like, oh, you don't get it? It's not their fault. It's like your brain is not wired to like figure out how to like control. There's too many things. Like watching your dad try and play like an old shooter, which doesn't exist anymore because everyone's young and their dads are all.
Fuck you, little boy.
Everyone's dad is our age.
Yeah, everyone's
playing Call of Duty.
Than me. Everyone's dad owes me $5.
But like playing like like seeing someone fly like a drone, you're like, oh, I don't even know how. There's too many things. It's too comprehend. Like too many buttons. But then once you figure out how to do that, your brain kind of like, ooh, I get it. I understand. And VR, but it almost doesn't feel like an understanding. It feels like a drug kind of thing. It's doing something.
Yeah, I agree.
It's doing something to your brain. It's tricking your brain, but it is a gimmick. So it's like this schlocky, cheap thing that is affecting your brain on such a level where I'm like, what? I'm trying to figure out the analogy of that.
Yeah, because calling it a gimmick, I don't necessarily disagree, but I feel like it has a little too much potential value for it to be a gimmick.
Well, that's what I'm saying is it is super interesting that we have this absolutely powerful tool, and we're doing nothing with it at the moment.
Okay.
And I'm like, is this what TV felt like for the first time?
Possibly.
When they're like, we can broadcast educational, or like when the internet was coming out, where people were like, the possibilities are limitless, and it was like, we're just going to use it for porn.
Yeah, we're always going to satisfy our most base desires.
And then, but we can't even use it for porn because that's uncouth, and so we just have to. We can't even use it for the most monkey brain.
It is funny. They're like, hey, you can't have a sexual desire fulfilled by this. Go kill some people virtually. And it's like those two are kind of, they should be a little bit more, I mean.
They're swapped in Europe. Well, they used to be. Because
the piano teacher.
Because the piano teacher. In Europe, like movies. I don't know anymore now, the video games. American movies were always like, violence. Don't show a tit.
Yeah.
If you see an areola during the Super Bowl, that's what caused 9/11 or school shooting. Like, and so, but in Europe, it was always like, of course, a woman's bush is out, whatever. But it's like, don't you dare show any
agree
violence.
With that more. That makes more sense.
But then they fist fight each other. You agree with
what means they fist fight each other?
British people are always like soccer hooligans are always fist fighting.
That's one specific genre of issues, but we also still do that, and we don't
not on the level of getting 100 boys together and go fighting.
But that's one thing. Soccer hooligans, okay. That's a cultural thing that's been created. I don't think that has anything necessarily attached to the idea of sexuality or violence.
And also, they don't have guns there.
They don't have guns there.
But I've
read Amongst the Thugs, all right? So I know.
What's that? Amongst the Thugs.
It's a famous book about soccer hooligans.
Oh, okay. It's called Thugs.
Among the Thugs. Bill Buford. It's a very good book.
Yeah, I'm like, with the VR stuff, I'm like, it is doing something in my brain, and it's nothing but junk food.
Yeah.
And I don't say that in a bad way.
No, I know.
I'm like, if someone can figure out how to podcast in the virtual reality space, or like, I don't know what you do with it.
I mean, let's troubleshoot and understand some things that are plausible because of VR. It's like, okay, we go walk around ancient ruins and understand the geography of famous places more.
Boring.
We could practice surgery.
I think that people do that.
Okay.
I told you the one thing that I don't think anyone's doing that seems the obvious is I saw that clip of someone putting the 360 cameras courtside at the NBA game.
Yeah.
And you can wear the goggles
and watch the game. That's unbelievable.
Like, that is going to be the thing, but it'll never happen because every single all the sports broadcasting is so fractured and broken that you'll never be able to broadcast it. Because I don't know, all the blackout bullshit and like you can't watch your team. What if the Raptors are playing? We can't have the VR people watching a Raptors game unless they live. If they live too close to Toronto but too far, you only want a circular ring, but cutting out this area, like what? Just allow.
It's like just send them a VHS of the game. It seems like it's 14 people, man. Yeah. It's a very It's again. I'm a big hockey fan. I'm watching a lot of hockey. It is very impossible to watch your favorite team's games
without stealing it.
I don't know how anyone does it.
Yeah, steal every fight.
Steal every game until they learn and change.
They won't.
But free fights for you.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what VR's for. I mean, it's really fun. I'm like, I wasted money, but it's like it's a fun video game to play for a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's like Rock Band.
Yeah.
It's like it's a stupider, funner version of Rock Band where like this can do one thing really well, but Rock Band didn't have that like little.
No, not even close. Where you're when you feel immersed.
That's the level of immersion.
It's unbelievable.
Maybe that's the answer to cell phones and TikTok and all the bullshit.
Go above it.
Is you go deeper. You're like, I can't even look at my phone right now because I'm in the virtual reality world.
I mean, you're doing we have a lot of rats. Let's unload a bunch of snakes.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there's something there to it.
Why don't we put a VR headset on a baby to calm him down? That's what I'm going to do.
I think you're starting the movie The Matrix right now.
I think that's what my baby's crying. I got to put on the stupid. What's that? What's Mrs. Jess?
Because famously enough, babies have a really good time holding the weight of their own heads up. Let's add 5 pounds to it.
Think of how your baby would look like Mike Tyson.
You look like
in
prime
6
Mike
months.
Tyson's looking thick ass neck.
There'd be no neck.
I want to eat his gummy bears.
So
my finger paints are ferocious. Yeah, I could do it. I could do a joke. I know how jokes go.
I can't do Mike Tyson. That's offensive to do Mike Tyson's voice.
Why'd you just do it?
I'm telling you not to do Mike Tyson's voice. It's, you put the virtual reality on the baby. They don't know what. They can't tell the difference. I'm doing high, but I'm not doing the lisp. I'm not doing the lisp enough. Almost sounds like a little like Elmo.
Yeah, he's a little Elmo-ish. So yeah, VR has been fun. I enjoyed the most so far. The shooting
people.
Games. Shooting games are really where it's fun. Pavlov is really good. It's a one hair too difficult right now for me in terms of knowing where all the stuff goes on every specific gun.
Yeah, that'll just come naturally.
As a man. No. It won't come naturally. I'll learn it. There's a difference between coming naturally and earning it and learning it. And that drives me crazy as a teacher.
Oh, what do you mean?
Coming naturally means I don't need to be lubed up or have a woman that when something comes naturally means I can look at it and within a moment I just get it makes sense to me. These don't come naturally. I have to look at it and move around and ask questions.
Oh, that's what I mean. Like comes naturally is because you saw me like figuring out a gun.
Yeah, it's not the same thing though.
I've been like, oh, how does this gun work? And then I guess I am wrong
because you understand how guns work.
But maybe.
So the need for base understanding takes away the option of it coming naturally. I'm not saying it's not a difficult thing.
So nothing comes naturally.
No, some things come naturally. Making love to a beautiful woman comes naturally. Making love to a beautiful young boy comes naturally. But the Pavlov
crying
game is fun.
in a fetal position afterwards.
Yeah,
natural.
Pavlov game is very fun. I like how the different guns feel. And
when you shoot someone in Pavlov, because when you shoot someone in a video game, you're like, whatever, it does nothing to me. It doesn't give me hard or anything. When you shoot someone in VR. Did you feel
it's one layer more?
Did you feel like the little? Ooh, I just killed it. That man will not see his family tonight.
He will not see his family.
His little boy is crying.
Boy is saluting and goose walking around the house. There's a twinge more.
Or I guess the better example is when you see bullets flying at you, you're like, Jesus Christ! Like it's a little more scary.
It's a little more scary when someone pops out of a corner.
Yeah,
we're like, oh fuck, they're right there. Because they're right there to you, you know? I wish that in Pavlov you can jump or throw shockwaves.
I think people get too motion sickness doing that.
Absolutely.
Throwing shockwave grenades. I wish there was a grapple gun and like
a grapple gun you can slide.
I wish there was a blue bus we could jump out of.
Dude, Fortnite VR would be insane.
It is coming. It's coming down the line.
Okay.
This is why I'm saying we need to put VR headsets on babies so they don't get motion sickness later in life.
And don't let them get punched in the head because it is apparently a large part of motion sickness.
Oh, really?
Yeah, CTE and motion sickness are very tied for some reason.
Did you get motion sickness?
Yeah.
Playing the VR?
Now, sometimes. We played this one shooting game that was a little different from Pavlov where you can move around however you want. This other video game, you're basically on what are those things called in airports that put you...
Oh, the moving rail. That's called a rail. So a lot of VR stuff is like that because they can't... They're like, we don't know how to...
Yeah. So you're just moving forward. You have no choice. You're moving forward. You have no control of it. You can move left and right. So it's a shooting game where guys just kind of pop out of corners and you shoot.
That one's really
very fun. It's very fun. It looks cool. It sounds cool. But there's moments where there's a barrier coming towards you and you have to move around it. And this makes me feel nauseous. Like that's where I'm like, fuck.
When it gets in your face?
Yeah, that's where I get a little nauseous.
Interesting.
But since that's so consistent, in a straight line, I'm easy to deal with that. Pavlov, if I'm moving around a lot, I'll start feeling it a little bit. But it doesn't linger like being in a car looking at my phone lingers with me the rest of the night.
I've never gotten motion sickness in my life until like 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
When I was in a car and I had like a laptop, I was doing something for work. And my boss is like, hey, can you call these people? I'm like, okay. And I open my laptop and I'm like, actively looking for a phone number, like focusing on the screen because I've like watched movies, I've been on my phone,
sure.
But focusing in and I like immediately I'm like, oh, what the hell?
Yeah,
like, looking at an Excel sheet in a moving car really made me want to puke, and I think it's because it was so unnatural. VR is natural. VR,
God wants you to have it, guys.
Looking at an Excel sheet is unnatural, and your body is telling you to throw up because you should not be.
You shouldn't be doing that.
There's too many math problems.
It's not good for you to think too much.
Take a break and put on a VR headset and kill some other human beings.
Or do what we're going to do later and go to a hockey game. Are you excited?
Hockey VR.
Hockey VR.
I'm going to wear my VR headset to the hockey game.
I love that.
Just in the nosebleeds.
Yeah. Oh shit. yeah, that's the thing. You can see it better, but you have to be in the arena. That's the only way it works.
That'd be fun.
It's like you pay for a ticket, but you can be in the first row.
So, VR, do you recommend it? Do you not?
I think if you can go around it doing the way you do, like paying a little bit a month kind of a thing, cool. Like not buying it outright. That's cool. Whatever.
I already got the buyer's remorse for it.
Really?
But I'm like, I don't care. It's a VR headset. Of course I was going to get buyer's remorse for it. It's just how fast it hits you.
How fast it hits you, really. Okay.
But I'll find out once I play Half-Life Alyx. That's the only reason I got it.
Cool game comes out. You can watch a movie on it. Maybe you figure some of that out.
Yeah, you can watch.
You can watch movies on it.
You can watch porn on it.
No.
Did I tell you about 3D porn?
No, I know VR porn exists, and Alex asked me right away when I told her that you got a VR headset.
Absolutely no jacking off until 6 months until we stop playing with it.
Until the warranty runs out.
And then I can put it in my room and leave it in my room. So Google Glass, not Google Glass, Google Lens was this thing where they would mail you a cardboard headset and you'd slide your phone into it. And it had two little lenses. And so it split your phone into like a little VR screen. And it's like the cheapest, most garbage VR setup possible. And you can't do anything. There's like 2 example games on it. But I'm like, okay, well, my phone's connected to the internet and the VR porn exists. This is like in 2016. 20 when Trump won. And he made it illegal. So I went and I tried a VR porn at like, I'm talking like 480p. Okay. Super low resolution. Having the camera be, I'm a guy, I'm laying on my bed wearing these goggles.
I think I've seen the exact. I did it once. But the only time I ever did VR, this guy my friend knew had the first Oculus. Yeah, and we played this elephant game where you're how you move your head moves a trunk and you can like whip things. I hated that. And he goes, you don't watch the porn of it, and you're a guy in a white room, and you're just like this, and you're like, whoa. And a girl comes in, you're like, whoa. That's not my penis.
Whoa, my penis is so much blacker and bigger.
My God, my penis is huge. Why does it have 2 heads?
And so, laying in a bed, seeing the POV like perfectly and seeing a girl, I'm like, this...
Pussy or vagina.
Oh. This could be a problem if I was under the age of 30. Yeah. I don't care anymore. I can take it or leave it. I could jack off. I'm a man. I jack off when I want to, when I'm bored.
I wanted to make a sketch after I saw that thing, the Oculus porn, of a guy who...
Did you feel it in your brain?
No.
Oh, you didn't? Like, no. You're like, oh, this could be like
I think
a
I was
problem.
in a room with guys. And I was like, hey, can you guys get out here?
No, I was by myself and I was like,
But a room where like I'm walking into my apartment and I'm walking in my apartment with someone.
I'm wearing clogs.
And I'm wearing clogs. And I'm like, yeah, my roommate got this new Oculus thing, and we open the door and you're like standing in the living room with a VR, just jerking off, standing, thinking you've made your way out of your room on accident. It's very fun.
I've seen a bunch of other sketch things where it's just like one guy's wearing a headset. And the other guy's like, and I'm like,
funny.
It's funny. It's been done to watch. But what if it was a beautiful woman?
What if it was a beautiful woman?
That would be funny for me. And I didn't
always laugh at that.
And I didn't release the tapes online, and I just used them for myself. What do you give? How many booms do you give a VR headset?
Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, 2.5?
2.5. No. Boom. 3.
3 full booms out of 5?
Yeah, it's fun.
I think I'm gonna give it.
I still would rather play Fortnite.
Oh, okay. You haven't played Fortnite. You can play Fortnite with the controller with the VR headset.
I haven't done that. I'll do that later.
It's just like having a floating TV in front of you.
Very funny.
So Mike can watch his French movies with smoking in black and white, and you can play. You can play Fortnite.
I like both.
I would be fun to take it on because it's attached to the PS5.
You can't take it. That's the thing. You can't take it anywhere.
So if you take it, if you have like a really powerful laptop, plug it into that.
Oh, okay.
But then you have
that's where the Apple VR I think is very interesting.
Yeah,
the fact that it doesn't need any attachments. I could sit on a plane and put it on and see a fucking big screen movie.
What happened to those?
I think they just cost too much.
Did they sell like 12 and then two guys filmed them doing a sketch on the subway and then I haven't heard a peep.
I haven't heard anything about them.
I don't even. Are they at the Apple Store?
$1,200?
They're like $3,000.
Get the fuck out.
They're like $3,000.
So much. Dude.
That's why we bought the PSVR 2 because it was like, oh, it's Black Friday. Here's it's a $300 headset. I'm like, all right, it's finally cheap enough. Whatever. $3,000 for. I don't know, the best porn of your life. Yeah. That's who could put a price on that?
Yeah, crazy.
Because then we're back to the thing. It's like, how much would you pay $30,000 for? I'm detecting hints of if you could smell the bush, if it added sense. That's what I would like to be a pornography snob.
Yeah.
To be really in the know.
Dave's old porn.
Dave's old porn on the couch. We should have got on the couch.
We should have got a couch that's really
invite
old.
Porn stars.
Yeah, there you go. That's the move.
Mac's new VR porn.
It stinks in this room, literally. Is that it? Did we do? What
do you recommend people getting a VR headset?
I mean, if you could afford it, and it's not going to bother you to lose. How much is it in total?
Well, we already had the PlayStation 5.
If you have a PlayStation 5,
if you already have a gaming computer,
yeah. Don't get it if that's the reason you're going to get a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, don't get.
No.
But if you already have a PlayStation 5, if you already have money, if nothing else, if your life is boring and you want to burn in the afternoon.
Pretty fun. I have a good time. Especially if you have a buddy you can go back and forth with.
Yeah, it's like.
Pretty fun.
I think we're going to play it a couple more times and then forget about it.
We'll see.
Until I'm like, oh, that game is free.
I'll play hockey on it.
That might be fun. All right. Well. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We love you. Stay safe. Be kind to everyone. Be kind to your family. Understand that everyone's a person dealing with their own issues, and they're not as strong as you are. No one's as strong as you are because you listen to us. Latino Heat.
And if you're a woman, go complain.
Hi, we love you.
Make some stuff happen.
Give me a kiss.
It's your ability to complain about stuff that makes change. Complain in a man's ear. And be like, I fucking hate you. Anyways, that's the podcast. Love you. Wait, I got to do my ad read. Okay. See ya. Oh my God, it's the ad read. Go to cowboyboys.store for a special Black Friday sale. Everything off, no code needed. I don't know how much, 15 to 25% off on all shirts and stuff. If you want. Thank you for listening to the episode. Thank you for sticking around. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.